Hello, everybody. This is Daniel Horowitz from Israel, broadcasting you through Legacy Family Tree webinars to teach you and to share today about the MyHeritage Library Edition. And this is the first time we're having such a webinar here. And I would like to welcome not only all the, let's call you regulars from Legacy, but I also know we have a lot of special guest people from actually all over the world, according to Jeff statistics, that are eager to learn how you can get all the records that MyHeritage has on its database totally free through your local library. I also know that some libraries are doing a watch party, so welcome. I don't know exactly how many you are, but definitely a pleasure to have you here. And for those of you who do not know me, I already said, my name is Daniel Horowitz, and I have been dedicated to genealogy since 1986. Well, I'm not that old as in the picture, done with the artificial intelligence technology that MyHeritage has. But I am involved in crowdsourced digitization and transcription projects. I volunteer my time for the Israel Genealogy Research Association. And since 2006, I have been working at MyHeritage, very happily, I have to admit, liaising with genealogy societies, bloggers, media, libraries as well, and lecturing around the world, either in person in conferences or like today, by webinars and Zooms. So let me tell you a story, actually a real story, true story. Three ladies enter a library. That sounds like a joke, right? But no, again, this is true story. And they meet each week at the library to use A and Q library editions databases. Now today, the ladies told the librarian that they were kind of bored because there was simply nothing new on those databases that they have not found yet. So they need to wait until the next release. Well, the librarian put them into the MyHeritage Library Edition available at the library and let them have fun over there. Not that long, the three ladies started laughing and cutting up, and the librarian, of course, all intrigued, came to the ladies to ask what was so funny. And the ladies told that they were finding all sort of information which they had not found in any other database. And as I said, this is a true story. Of course, I cannot reveal the name of the librarian that actually shared this with me, but I really hope that that will be the case of all of you in all the libraries, wherever you are, when you discover what is available for you at the MyHeritage database. Now, the MyHeritage platform started as a place to build and share family trees. And today we have 47 million of those. We also have 20 billion historical records. Actually, no, we have 20.1. Yep, that is how fast the database is growing. We also have 7.4 million DNA kits, but that is a totally different lecture. And you should know that MyHeritage, as a global company, is available and understand 42 languages. So I'm sure that no matter in which country you are watching today, we will support your language. Now, that is definitely one of the things that makes us different, the global strength. The other thing will be the superior technology that I will demonstrate in just a few more minutes. And then, of course, the idea of being friendly and approachable. And if we're not doing a good job, please let us know. Finally, the exclusive databases that we have, not only from the United States, but again, also from around the world. And I will mention a few in just a couple of minutes. But let's talk about the technology. The MyHeritage search engine is a code that it has been updated and improved constantly since the day we develop it. The idea, the goal is to help you discover your relatives in the most easy, efficient, and smart way. And you can see that with the unique features of name matchings that we have, and also how we treat names with the 42 languages. So stay tuned. All this will be explained in just a few minutes. First, let's start from the beginning. And the beginning will be at your library. Now, I do know that I have people here from, as I said before, all over the world, and I cannot know if your library actually has a MyHeritage Library Edition. So here is some homework for you. You need to go to your library and ask if they have access to MyHeritage. I have here a few examples of some libraries I do know they have this access. You can, of course, go to the library, go to any of the computers there, and you should be able to use it and to search for records. But one huge advantage of the MyHeritage Library Edition is that you can actually access it even from your home. Now, this is more than great. First, because you don't need to go to the library, and if you have winter or strong winters in your place, well, sometimes the snow can be a problem to get you to the library. But not even that. You don't need to wait for the library to be open. Like if you're in the middle of the night and you decided to start doing research, you can just simply go to the website. You can enter whatever ID library card you have, whatever PIN or password you use to connect to the library, and enjoy the database. More than that, and I know a lot of people actually have library cards from libraries where they're not necessarily living. You have multiple addresses, you're a subscriber to an old place library, and you still have access to it. Well, that will give you access also to this database. It really doesn't matter how you get there. You're going to probably see this screen, which is the first screen letting you go into the MyHeritage Library Edition from your library. And one more click will bring you straight into the search engine. So that is what you're looking for. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the benefits and the tricks of this search engine, which, by the way, it's not exactly the same as the one you will get in your, let's call it, personal account with MyHeritage. And I will also talk about that at the very end. You can see a form. You can see place to put the names, the year, the place, the keyword. But before you even start searching over there, I want you to scroll down. And I don't know how many of you ever try it because it's not very intuitive. But on the bottom part of this page, you're going to see a world map. Here, you will be able to select either a continent or in the US, UK, and Canada countries, you can select them and then you will be able to see the states or the regions that those three countries are divided in. If this is any other continent, you will see the countries. Now, why you want to see those countries? Because by clicking in any of those countries, states, areas, provinces in Canada, your search is going to be focused on that area. So if you're researching Poland, if you're researching Germany, if you're researching Netherlands, why you want to get answers and results from other places in the country or in the world that are not your main focus, okay? So, I don't know, feel free to put in the chat if this was useful or not. But let's go back to the very beginning. You see here fields where you can just type the name of the person you are looking. In my demo case, I'm looking for Leo Heigman, just first name, last name. All what I need to do is to click the search button. I immediately gonna get the results, and just by clicking on the name or the blue line on the area of the record, I will be able to see the full record and all the information and exactly what you were looking for. I hope you enjoy this webinar. As you can see, it's very easy to use. I wish you best of lucks. No, of course not. Of course, it's not that easy. We have a ton of things that goes beyond that. So let me go back a few steps. Let's start back to the beginning. And let me point out that same as I showed you how to focus your research on a place, from here, you can focus your research on a category. Because maybe you're looking for a birth record. Maybe you're looking for a census record, military record. You will see all the categories listed on the right side of the search engine. Sometimes a category may have subcategories. So you can drill down into the very specific of that record that you're searching for. Now, another way to do that is to click on the advanced search button that you will find on the top right. This will give you more fields, but not only that, this will give you the right fields for the right type of records. Because, yeah, most of the records will be related or will have a birth information. Well, except if you are looking for directories, guides, and references. And if you're looking for a census or military, you may not see a death field, which is what you're going to look for, or field if you're looking for burials or death certificate. So we understand what are the fields needed for those types of records that you may be looking for. Now, you can see that we manage different types of events. And for each one, you will be able to put a date, and a place. How many of you thought of looking for a person that was born at a certain date and time, but also married at different date and different place? Yes, you could use different events to make sure that you have exactly the person that you're looking for. And the same actually applies for relatives. Now, this is even better because I may be looking for the son of Mary Stuart, which is James' sibling, with the only problem that I have no idea how this sibling names. And I'm going to leave the name totally blank, the name for the main person blank, and I'm going to use the first and last names for the mother, a sibling, a father, and I'm going to find all the families that meet that criteria. Now, if you're looking for John Smith, yeah, you're going to find a lot of families like that. But I'm pretty sure that if you use multiple names and multiple events, we're going to bring you straight to the right family that you're looking for. Now, Smith is kind of a very common name. And in order to be able to help you pinpoint exactly the names that you're looking in your family, we are applying a series of technologies that you don't really need to know what they do, but you need to know that you can change them and you can decide if you want exact way as you type it or if you want to be applying some soundex for those last names. Now, we are familiar with soundex. We know, Genealogies knows, that this technology has been used for many, many years for last names, but MyHeritage just go one step ahead and apply also similar technology for first names. So for example, you have multiple ways of spelling John, or you may have Robert, which is also known as Bob, or maybe you want to use the first name of whatever, the first letter of whatever name you're writing over there, okay, also to bring results. The idea is that always, no matter how you're searching, you will get to the right records. Now, sometimes we don't know exactly when things happen. You may have a year, you may have only a month or a day in a month. And yeah, sometimes people remember that events happen close to historical events. And if you only have even a year, you can decide if you want to search for 2, 5, 10 years before and after that specific date. That will expand your dates and your possibilities of finding the right record. Finally, a free text, a field where you can actually write any keyword that will help you pinpoint your relatives. If he was a president of whatever, if he was basketball player, if he was in the Titanic, well, probably if he was in the Titanic, the list was quite short. But any keywords that you would like to use, that will help to bring the exact records to you. And talking about the results, we will rank those results with stars based on the information that you're providing and the information to found in the record. Now, Of course, you will want to narrow your search, and you can do that using those categories and subcategories that you find in the left menu right here. Once you go into one of those categories, you will be able to go in a subcategory and drill down more specifically. What else you can do? Well, you can narrow by other fields used in that record. For example, I search here for Frank, but the record also mentioned Dennis or Daniel. And I know that Dennis and Daniel may have been siblings or parents of Frank, so probably those are better records for me than all the gazillion or tens of thousands of records that MyHeritage is bringing me. Now, if you have too many records, one thing you can do is to edit or to add more information to that search. And you don't need to move too far away. Right from here, you have a button that will allow you to edit and to see your fields, modify them if you need, or just add more fields that you have not used at the beginning. For example, I have a first name, last name, year, but I don't have a place. Why not I use Florida, for example, as a place, and just by pushing the orange button, I will be rerunning this search and get better results. Once you're happy with the results, it's time to go in and see the actual records. This is how 1920 US federal census looks like for Frank Burkett. You see here a lot of the information that was actually transcribed from the actual record. You will also see a lot of metadata. For example, the residence or the township and the county. Those are information that we know because the whole set belongs to a specific place. But you need to take into account that I'm not going to say not always, but most of the time, not all the details in the record are transcribed. And that is why we want to actually see the record. And if you scroll down here again, you will be able to see the record. You may not be able to read it, but you can see it. If you are like me, we need to zoom in. We need to see this full screen. We need to be able to read the record. And that is what I am showing you how to do. Ta-da! Now you can use the top panel to zoom in and out and to move your page and to be able to read it. And if you just forgot where Frank is, right there on the left side is saying that he is in line number 4. So I can just go zoom in, line number 4, see the whole family, go to the right side of the document and read everything. Now, do you remember what you need to do when you find a record for your relative and it's at the beginning or the end of the record? You need to go either to the previous page or to the next page, because you never know if the rest of the family is listed over there. And the easiest way to do that is with this pagination that we offer you. This image, it's in page number 17. So normally, and especially with censuses, I go back a couple of pages back and forth, which in the real world will mean go up and down on the street where my relative were living. And I have found many more relatives living close by. So definitely, I suggest you to give it a try. You can from here also print the record as long as the librarian allows you to print, or if you're from home, then no problem. It's your ink and your electricity. And then you will want to exit the full screen to go back to the record because there are more surprise for you here. Just by scrolling down, you're going to see, first of all, the name of other family members involved in that record. And those names are clickable, meaning that if I click on Anna V. Burkhead, I'm going to be seeing the records that I have found for Anna. And I'm going to be doing like a research on Anna specifically. Below that, you're going to find the source citation. Please, 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 wherever you are doing your research, make sure that you cite your sources and you write down where did you found this information. You could copy and paste this to a clipboard or to a Word document. Better, you can send it to yourself by email. Why is that? Because remember, if you are sitting at the library, you may not have access to your personal account. If you're at home, you can open two tabs and you can just copy and paste from one to the other. If the library allows you to also log in into your MyHeritage personal account, do that with caution because remember, you need to log off from your account so the second person or the next person that comes and sit in that computer will not get access to your MyHeritage account. That's why I really don't suggest you to do that in public computers. Putting passwords in public computers is not a good philosophy. Now, you see what you have below the source citation? Let me move it a little bit up. It is another technology called the record detective. And what MyHeritage have done while you were watching this record is looking for all the other records, not only for Frank or whoever the person you look for was, but also for Anne and any other person mentioned in that record. And those records may come either from other records, other census, birth, marriage, death, military, etc., or from other family trees where those individuals are mentioned. So you're going to click here and you're going to see another record and you're going to see if this is your person and see what new information you're getting, and you're going to get new records, and you're going to start or keep doing that until the library closes or your wife called you to come to bed. For me, that normally happens around 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, another technology that MyHeritage has for you is the global name translation. I already mentioned MyHeritage supports 42 languages. Most of those are Latin characters. So no problem if you are English speaker. But how about Greek, even Hebrew, Russian, or Ukrainian? Well, those are totally different dictionaries, and I can barely read them. So if you have the same problem, this is your solution. But more than that, you see how I put you over there, English and Spanish? Well, because Jacob, which is also known as Jake, may be Jacobo in Spanish, and the record may be in that language. Now, let's think just for a second that you are looking for a cousin named Alexander, or, as everybody knows him, Alex. But you never know how he's going to appear in the record or in any other family trees. I can tell you how he is going to appear in multiple ways that you have never dreamed to search of. Now, if you're searching for Alex, what about Oleksky or Sasha, which is another name used in Russia, Ukraine, or those kind of areas of the world? So, again, no worries. Because when you are searching in the language you know, and let's say English, MyHeritage is going to find that person in other languages records, like my cousin in the Ukraine Kiev Orthodox Church books. The only problem is that those books are in Ukrainian. Well, MyHeritage goes one more time, an extra step, to show you the transliteration back to your language. So I would know who of all this is really my family. Now, from here on, well, I'm sorry, you are on your own. I suggest you Google Translate. I should suggest you to call a friend. There are many other ways to make sure to translate the rest of the record. Newspapers. Oh, we love newspapers, especially because they have all those juicy stories that we don't necessarily know about our relatives. And MyHeritage has newspapers. Boy, we have them. They're all in the newspaper category collection of the search engine. And you can go there, yes, also from the library edition, you will have access to the newspapers right from here. Now, here the date will be a little bit different because the date not necessarily is the date of the event, but the date of the publication. So if your relative died on a specific date, maybe the obituary will be a couple of days or even weeks after that date. It's even, I would say, better or worse, because if your relatives is from Chicago, but he died in, let's say, California, maybe you will find an obituary in California and as well as in Chicago. So with these fields, you will be able to focus your search in the right place at the right time. So let's go and do what we all do. We love to find ourselves, I hope, in the newspapers, and really hope to be in a nice area of the newspaper. And I search for Daniel Horowitz. You can see how the technology found here, not only Daniel Horowitz, but Daniel L. Horowitz or Horowitz Daniel, because newspapers are not structured data, meaning it's a bunch of text, it's a bunch of letters that we manage to digitize and to understand by doing OCR, which stands for optical character recognition, and made that text searchable. Now, we also understand that if Daniel is in one corner of the newspaper and Horowitz is in the other corner, well, it's not the person you're looking for. But if there are just a few words between those two names, chances are that this is talking about that individual. Now, from here, you will not be able to filter or to focus on a specific area or a specific newspaper. But you remember those filters that you have in the side? Well, we will tell you how many articles we found in each of those newspapers. So if you're really looking into the Pittsburgh area, you may want to go and click on the Pittsburgh Press and look only into those articles. And yes, MyHeritage released not so long ago a dedicated website for newspapers. It's called allnews.com. But we keep adding the index of all news into MyHeritage. So you will be able to find newspaper articles from All News on MyHeritage, or at least a reference to it, and then we will drive you to the actual article over there. But it's not only newspapers. And I know, again, a few libraries did this watch party. And I want all of you who are in a library to look around. How many books do you think your library has? If you're a librarian, I'm sure you know exactly the amount. And if it's close to 500,000 books, well, imagine that you have all those books available on MyHeritage, but not just simple books. I'm talking about curated books, books that talk about genealogy, about family stories, about yearbooks, relevant books for your search. And yes, they are all available at MyHeritage Library Edition. So remember I said that there is the Library Edition and there is your Home Edition. The Home Edition is your personal account that you open under a user and a password, either to do a search or to build a family tree or to do a DNA test, or simply to upload your tree and your DNA from another company. What? You didn't know you could do that? Oh yeah. It doesn't matter where you have your family tree or your DNA, you can upload both for free and enjoy the benefits and the technology of MyHeritage. But let's focus on the records, guys. So this is the best I can do to show you the difference between one and the other. In the left side, you could see the Library Edition, the one that we have been talking since the beginning of this webinar, and you may recognize already the header and the search fields. On your right, you will have my personal website, which would look exactly the same as yours, with a menu on the top that will give you access to all the features of MyHeritage, and it will look a little bit different. Well, actually not, a lot different from the Library Edition. One thing you will find in the personal that is not on the Library Edition is the recently released artificial intelligence chat search engine. Yep, it's technology that you can just talk or actually write with the chat or in the chat, and the chat bot, the technology, will find records for you and will ask you other questions to make sure we have the best records for you. Now, the categories appeared in both. A little bit different. In the library edition is a list, text list. In your home edition is with a little bit of graphics and movements. Now, the bottom is definitely different. In the library edition, you have the locations, which I already showed you. In your home or your personal edition, we will keep you updated always with the latest collection that we are releasing. Now, if you are familiar with this view, I just want to make sure that you know that in this right corner where it says recently added collection, you will actually get access to the collection catalog, which can also be found from the main menu under the research section. No, unfortunately, the collection catalog is not available at the library edition. What else is not available over there? One second. Let me stick here for one more second, because I want to mention that if you have an account on MyHeritage and you are seeing this screen on your account, you will be able to search by any keywords the different collections that we have. You will be able to sort those collections by the last update to see which collections were later or latest added to MyHeritage, and also use the left panel to filter and see the collections we have for specific categories. Now, if you are in your personal account and you go into a record, you will actually have an option to save this record directly to your tree. That's not available on the library edition. If you scroll down, you will see that you have an option to spot errors and suggest alternative, or even made some comments on the record. And no, nothing of this is available in the library edition. The reason is actually very easy. You are not navigating as yourself. You're navigating as the library, same as the hundreds of other patrons that are using the library edition. So you don't have access to your personal tree, or you cannot write a comment and do that on your own name. So those are a few, let's call it, more personal features that we cannot have them on the library edition. In summary, the library edition will allow you to search all the records of MyHeritage, both from the library or from your home at any time, as long as you have access to your members only library page. You will be able to change the language to any of the 42 that we support. It doesn't matter where you are, you may be comfortable or more comfortable in other languages. Now, that is a huge advantage because MyHeritage as a global company will have records from all over the world. And I can already tell you, we have some exclusive collections from Germany, from the Netherlands, and other European countries already in the database and soon to come, because we're trying to give you not only records from all over, but also from different types of records, exclusively from archives and libraries that are not available in your place. This will include, of course, all the US census, and I love census, but not only that, all kind of different records. And as I was mentioning, those exclusive databases that are not found anywhere else, because we're partnering with the archive to scan, digitize, index, transcribe, make those records available. And more than that, automatically, every day, literally every day, we are putting collections out there, new collections, that is. And remember, the record detective technology unique to MyHeritage will help you find very easily, effortless, completely on records that you have already found. Now, I do know a lot of librarians are watching this webinar. I know also a lot of Patreons are watching this webinar, and I actually saw a few comments here in the chat saying my library doesn't have MyHeritage Library Edition. So you need to just approach your library, tell them that EBSCO, which is the representatives, at least in the United States, who is managing the subscription to MyHeritage, will help you to do that. And if you don't know if your library has a subscription or not, all you need to do is ask a librarian. They're very clever people, and they have a lot of good answers for you. With this, I will want to thank you all for your interest, for being here today with me, for being interested in how you can take advantage of the MyHeritage Library Edition. I hope that you can enjoy in your library, or at least you will find a library that will have it. By the way, you know the family history libraries from Family Search across the whole world, they also have our database. So if your local library doesn't have it, make sure you search for a family history library. If you have any questions, and I am seeing a few already here in the chat, I will be more than happy to answer. But just in the case that you're watching this as a video recording, because this webinar will be in matter of minutes, no pressure, Jeff, right here in Legacy for you to watch it again whenever if needed. So those two URLs over there will guide you to how to search and how to find the right usage of MyHeritage technologies. Now, let me go over a few of the questions that I am seeing here. It is available at Genealogy Society's libraries, is Nancy asking. Well, Nancy, that will depend on the society. I do know a few societies that do have access to the library edition. I have given also similar lectures for them. So it's as easy as ask your society. And if your society doesn't have it, they could have them without any problem. Jim is asking, does MyHeritage has adoptions? Well, I do know that under the birth records, we have some adoptions records that were open to the public, but we're talking about like 100 years ago or enough not to have any problems with privacy, Jim. My best answer is just go ahead and give it a try. Can you enter more than one country at the time, is asking Carol. Well, Carol, I will not suggest you to do that because you're risking that the search engine will think that you're looking for the place name as the first country, okay, in the second country. For example, I do know that in the United States, you have a lot of names like Paris, okay, in Paris, New York, and I know other cities and other countries named after other countries there. So just put one country and then change the country and click search again. It is quite easy. Magali is saying, I told the librarian about the MyHeritage Access. How can we convince them and help them speed the process? Well, you can just do, I don't know, a hunger strike, change yourself to the computer until you get the MyHeritage Access. No, I'm just kidding. I guess one way will be probably getting signatures from other people, members of that library, and showing them that you are really interesting and you need really access to that library. One way will be, you know what? Show them the MyHeritage website on the records and let the librarian search themselves, even if they need to open a free account, and you can do that at MyHeritage without any problem, and try from themselves. I have found that testing is the easiest and the best way to convince people about it. Pamela is asking, do we need to create a MyHeritage account before using the database at the library? No, Pamela. On the contrary, the whole idea of using the library edition is that you don't need to open an account or to have your personal account over there, or even to pay to get for the records. The library is already doing that. Mike is asking, how do I get to Super Search again? Well, from your library, it will depends where in the website your library put it. You can ask a librarian for instructions. From your personal account is right under or in the research menu that you have. I see here a couple more of questions, and we are getting limited by our time. So Cindy is asking, how do you get the list of all the name variations that you just showed? Cindy, you don't. That was just an example of the technology that MyHeritage does behind the scenes. We do all those calculations, all those spelling variations, all those languages behind the scenes only to show you the results, okay? So you really don't need to worry for that. Nancy is asking about all news in library editions. Yes, is my understanding, Nancy, that the all news index is available both from the library edition and the personal edition, okay, without any problem. Lillian, where do librarians need to go to find information on subscribing their libraries? Lillian, that is all with EBSCO in the United States, or with whatever provider of databases your library used. One last question. Let me see, I have a few here. How do we find out if we could get library edition for small historical societies? Tamara, I already said that. EBSCO, again, in the United States, or if you're not in the United States, if EBSCO cannot provide you with library edition, contact me. I will connect you with the right people. I think we covered everything, at least those questions related to records and to library edition. Once more, I would love to thank you for being here, either live or recorded. I would like also to thank Jeff for allowing me this space in the Legacy Family Tree webinar platform. And I hope you have enjoyed and learned a little bit more today. And I invite you just to keep an eye on this space, because Jeff has a lot of more webinars coming up, including this 24-hour crazy marathon that we do every year in this time of the year. So next week, if I'm not mistaken, just go ahead, check the dates, check the times, subscribe. It's totally free and you can enjoy a lot. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.